are very little things, little ways that God will direct you. You see, if you don't master the small things, it may be hard for you to master the big things. Can you recognize the voice of God when God is talking to you? Let me give you an example of something that happened one time. Damola and I were coming from somewhere. I don't even know where we traveled to or where we were coming from. But we had, I think, a window between when we landed at that particular airport and when we were supposed to connect back to Charlotte. So we went to the lounge to sit down there. And so that particular day, we were arriving at the airport at a time when in US, it was still morning, like almost noon. But where we were coming from, it was late evening. And that's where our journey originated from. So when I got there in my head, I was thinking, wonderful, I get to eat and eat and eat till I burst today. And we sat down there in that lounge, wonderful food spread over there. So I said, you know what? I was tracking the time because I knew when it would be evening in that place so that I knew that we would break. And so while we were waiting, we're just, many times, that's what we do. We just go to some of these places, we just sit down there, we just pray. So I was listening to a message and, the preacher was speaking and I was praying in the background. And that's a preacher that I don't listen to him all the time, but I may have a lot of respect for his ministry. So I'm listening to him and he's talking about something that seems random. And suddenly he's saying, oh, you people have to do so. I forget what the admonition was that he was giving to his people. And he said, yes, give yourself to God, sacrifice to God. Don't break your fast at so and so time. Now, the time he said was so odd. I think it was 11, he said. It was such an odd time. Because normally they will tell you don't break your fast at 12. Or maybe they'll tell you don't break your fast at 3. But he said, oh, don't break your fast at 11. And I was laughing when he was saying it because I was like, these people in this church, they have seen it today, Because he was trying to tell them like, listen, discipline yourself, grow in God, all of that. So he was saying don't break a fast at 11. And the interesting thing was that when he said that thing, I do not know why, but there was a strong witness in my spirit. I had already eyed all the food in the room. And I was like, if I don't eat this food, let me hear that I didn't eat this food, So that was my intention. Indeed, based on how I had planned it, I was going to break at 11 and eat. And I'm listening to this message out of nowhere. I don't know what made me tap on that message. And I just heard the man say, don't break your fast at 11. And I was laughing in my chest. And as I laughed, the witness just rose up and said, don't laugh, it's you that talking about. I said, what? 11? What? Why would the Holy Spirit care if I break? I'm like, it doesn't even really matter. And it was such a struggle. I was like, I think I even grabbed my plate. But as I sat down there, I knew it was God speaking. That's how we left the lounge and we started heading on our way. First of all, we did not have any idea how far the lounge where we were sitting was from the gate. Second of all, I do not know how the both of us missed the exact time that flight was supposed to leave. We had miscalculated it by about maybe 30 minutes or so, or 20 or something that was almost insignificant. But I promise you that if I would have sat down there in that lounge to eat that food, we would verily have missed that flight home. So we got to the gate and it's like they are doing the last burning. In fact, I think that as we were walking to the gate, they were announcing our name on the page. And then we looked and we're like, oh wow, we misread the time. So we just started running to the gate. And that's how we were able to board that flight to go home. What am I saying here? I'm saying that fellowship is crucial. It may seem like it's small things. It may seem like it's big things. But you see, for me, it would have been that I would have missed a flight. Okay, then we wait, then we get another flight. For somebody else, it's something bigger. For somebody else, it's something more major. For somebody else, it's something life-threatening. For somebody else, it is life-defining. That fellowship with God is crucial. That thing shocked me. Throughout the flight home, I kept telling them, I was like, can you believe what happened? Can you believe what happened? Because I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. In my head, it was about breakfast. In my head, I was like, but I heard it clearly, do not. And I left. And even when Damola was saying, go and eat, I said, it's okay. It didn't have to be in a place of prayer or whatnot. But I knew the voice of God, even if it came from a pre-recorded YouTube video. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You may not know the exact channel through which God will communicate something. The idea is to master his voice and know when he's the one speaking to you. So even if it was a YouTube video that was streamed a while ago and the man was talking to his young congregation, I knew that the Holy Spirit was telling me something. I would have missed that flight and I would have gotten another flight. But you see what? You practice the voice of God from things that seem like they don't have much consequence. You begin to follow it from there. That the way. When it's something really major, when God is telling you something really heavy, you will know that it's God that is speaking to you.